you who is in charge. The forecast said brutally cold. The roads said stay home. But our hearts said old rag. We knew this winter had been severe, the last few days especially harsh. Postponing would have been easy, but we had made a promise to ourselves and to each other. Having the right gear and the right approach is the ultimate solution to any challenge, Captain Sarmad said, and that became our motto for the day. So we prepared like it mattered, because it did. Layer upon layer, warm undergarments, fleeces, windbreakers, gloves that could fight the biting air. Goggles guarded our eyes against the piercing, purling gusts. Most importantly, crampons bit into the ice so our feet could trust every step. Our coach carried an ice axe, not as a symbol, but as a tool of progress. With each swing, he carved steps into the frozen slope, shaping a staircase out of winter, and deliberately, we followed in his footsteps, one careful move at a time. Even before we reached the mountain, the adventure had already begun in the car. Soft-spoken Suraj brought a calm, steady presence to the 2-hour drive. Lalit, our walking encyclopedia, answered every question that came up on the road, about the mountain, the route, the weather, the gear, turning the ride into a rolling classroom. True to the meaning of his name, Shafkat brought warmth and kindness, pulling out a thermos of masala tea he had made for everyone. And then there was Dawood, sleep-deprived from a night of excitement, or maybe a little fear, quietly riding the edge between nerves and anticipation. Coach Ishvok had rented a 4-wheel drive, because even reaching the mountain was its own little expedition. Snow and sleet claimed the roads near the trailhead, but the vehicle pushed steadily forward. By the time we picked everyone up, Suraj, Lalit, Shafkat, and Dawood, the car was full of stories, jokes, and that quiet buzz you only feel before a big day. By 8 a.m., we rolled into the Old Rag parking lot. The air slapped us awake as soon as we stepped out, a freezing welcome to the day's adventure. We did our final gear checks, layers, crampons, packs, axes, and took a breath together. This was it. Our fabulous, friendly, daring day had begun. We chose the longer route, the one that follows the river for about 3 miles. The water ran like a dark ribbon beside us, half hidden under snow and ice, a quiet companion. Our boots crunched over frozen ground as we walked, our conversation rising like mist in the cold air. Eventually, we reached a shelter, a small, wooden refuge standing bravely in the severe conditions. Inside, warmth wasn't a temperature, it was a feeling. We lit the stove and made tea, watching the steam curl into the icy air like a small miracle. We shared cake rusk, dates, cookies, and pastries, each bite a celebration of simple comforts in a harsh world. Out there, the cold could be cruel. In here, surrounded by friends, it felt almost kind. We decided not to take the scrambling route with its famous boulders. On a day like this, those rocks would be dangerously glazed, every surface a potential trap of frozen granite and ice. It wasn't fear, it was respect, for the mountain, for the conditions, for our own limits. Sometimes courage means pressing forward, sometimes it means choosing the wiser path. After tea at the cabin, the real climb began. At first, we felt strong and smooth, our rhythm steady, our spirits high. But soon the trail turned to pure ice, especially as we pushed higher and higher. Every step demanded focus. Every foothold was a decision. We stayed close together, a moving chain of trust. One person tested the ice, another pointed out a safer rock, a better hold, a wiser step. We watched each other struggle, shared each other's effort, and guided one another to make sensible moves. The mountain may have been steep, but we refused to climb it alone. The hours stretched, melting into a long, relentless push. Our legs burned, our breath rushed out in white clouds, our fingers numb despite our best gear. There were moments when the cold felt personal, like the wind was testing our resolve. But step by step, cut by cut, breath by breath, we kept moving. And then, almost suddenly, yet after so much effort, we arrived at the summit. It was grueling, it was exhausting, and it was unbelievably satisfying. We dropped our packs, sat down on the frozen rock, and let the reality sink in. We had done it. We had climbed Old Rag in the heart of a brutal winter. Around us, the world opened up in every direction. Vast vistas rolled away under a blanket of snow and ice, ridges fading into soft blue and gray. The scenes were more than just pretty. They were deeply meaningful, a quiet reminder of how small we are and how great creation is. Up there, above the chatter of everyday life, we felt humbled by our place in the grand design. Our struggle, our laughter, our fear, our determination, all of it seemed to settle into a single word in our hearts. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you.
Every single day, I'm gonna make something great.
There you go. Oh, ये जबरदस्त है. सही है भाई, सही है. Sarmad जो है वो स्टेप बना रहे हैं.